everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 8. DJI Mavic 4 Pro is closer than you think. Very special guest co-host, Captain Ray Kelly, and Johnnie Alfonso, Johnnie Drone Flyer. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Beautiful day today.
Good.
It is a pleasure having you on. We wish Ron and his wife Susan safe travels. They're going to be the very first. It's a South Florida drone meetup this year. Okay, they'll be the very first ones there. Technically, if you want to call it technically, but anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get Ray's going to give us a skinny on everything that's up with that. I know Johnny's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and we may have a future drone sighting there too. So
I'm telling you, I'm so excited that Ron is coming. I hope to be flying with him next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they're going to Jupiter, right?
Yeah. 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes from where my condo is. Yeah.
Oh, Bill, they get to go to all those secret spots. We don't get to fly.
Of course. Yeah, they get to go to Ray's secret spots. Yeah. Just leave the rest of us out, but that's okay, Ray. We still love you anyway. So.
Ron is in the in crowd.
So let's go ahead and take a look and see who's here. Bob Dempsey's here tonight. Lou, Quadcopters in check. Team Minus of Texas. Old Fart with an Osmo. Welcome. Josh is here. Akarasho. Let's see who else we got. Waypoint New England. FTO Media. Leonard Oglesby, Big Orange Drone Flyer, Zach. Michael Wright is here. Let's see who else we got. Lauren is here. Welcome, Lauren. All right, good to see who else we got. Art is here. Welcome, Art. Joe Merrick is here. All right, Leonard. Okay, we're all set for tonight. Well, you know what? I don't think of any better thing to lead off the show with than something that's about almost a little more than a month away. Captain Ray, how are things going with the South Florida drone meetup?
I tell you, they are going great, really, Jeremy Alms, he took over the merchandise for the 5th annual South Florida drone meetup. He made a new logo for us, and
wait, you got your name on it. Yeah,
I know. I'm telling you, I am so excited because he was he just stepped up on his own, and what he's donating, right? I think I have said it quite a few times now, but he donated the top prize right now, DJI Air 3S. Bill, maybe you'll win it. Maybe you'll win it.
Never know. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. Now, where do we stand in terms of attendance?
Actually, I got somebody else signed up today. We're up to 137.
Wow.
That are on the list. We only had 5 cancellations, and we're right on track. Really, actually, we're doing better than we've done the past 4. We'll definitely break 150 on the day of the event. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And there's still room. There's still room at the Hampton Inn and
that's
Suites,
awesome.
Stewart North
for payday, because that's what I'm going to be making my reservations come Thursday. Thursday's payday for me. Publix only pays us salary people once a month, which is the most unusual pay I've ever been with out of any organization. We only get paid once a month, but it's going to be on Thursday. I was also going to ask you too, in terms of who are you going to have for speakers at the South Florida Drone Meetup this year, right?
Well, basically, we're not going to have any speakers per se, like we've done the past 3 years. We've received some comments that people did not want to sit down for 45 minutes or an hour and listen to somebody. They'd rather be mingling and socializing with the attendees and flying. So we eliminated that. We'll see how it goes, but we got some entertainment planned. Dennis Lovelady is going to be playing for us.
All right.
The singing droner, and Tony Szewski made arrangements to have Delta Dave and his wife Cindy, if I remember right, and they're going to play for us also during our lunch hour. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good, very good. So, are there are there what big names are we going to have down here? Of course, besides Mr. Idaho Quadcopter and Mr. Ron Braun, what other big names are we going to be seeing down here?
Oh, I'm telling you. I mean, we have so many, Bill, and if I start naming them, people will get slighted that I left them out. But I consider just about everybody a drone superstar, a drone celebrity. So, and we're so happy. I mean, there's been so many people that have come to all 4 events prior, and they're signed up to come to our 5th annual. And I can't believe it's been 5 years, right, Johnny?
Man, I tell you, I know it just seems like it was yesterday. I know my daughter's like, I remember telling them I'm going to Florida to meet these guys, and I really never, and they like, where are you going? You might be going to meet some serial killers or something, That's how the drone community has, has started out. And, Ray, y'all kind of started out, you and Ken Hoffbauer, and I think Maddie, basically.
Yeah, right.
We're flying that day, and kind of, just like we kind of started a Fly for Fun show. Well, that meetup started just on a kind of a whim, say, hey, let's get together. And now I would say it's definitely one of the biggest meetups in the country. And Florida, a great destination. The prizes we have is, of course, free of charge. The hotel is a great, they welcome us. We fly drones in there. We eat all the pancakes and all that stuff. And it's just an incredible weekend,
That's
awesome. So we're all set, Bill. Really, everything is going according to plan, if not better. And I've received so many giveaway prizes. I got them all around my desk and behind me back there, behind the chair over here. I don't have any room in the bedroom anymore.
That is a great problem to have. It really is. Now, Friday night is going to be the meetup at the pool place, right?
Yes, we have the meet and greet at Sticks Billiard Club in Stewart. Right. And Bill Ronayne. And speaking of Bill Ronayne, we got to wish Bill, get well soon wishes. He had surgery today, and I haven't heard. I reached out to him, but he hasn't returned a call or text yet. But hopefully his surgery went real well.
Yes. Our thoughts and prayers. I had known about that. So,
but anyway, Bill, he's responsible for getting that sponsorship at Sticks because he is the manager of Sticks Billiard Club and the Stewart Bowling Alley. But the owners of Sticks really, really do good by us. They donate $50 gift cards. Wow. They give us time on 4 of the billiard tables. And they put out quite a spread for us last year, and Bill said they're probably going to do it again this year. So
that's fantastic, and that's that's why I've told people. I said if you can only do Saturday, good, but if you can get there Friday night for that, the meet and greet is priceless, and you need to be there for that because the interaction and the time you have and being able to spend with people is just priceless. It really is. And then of course Saturday's the meetup. Now Sunday is going to be. We're probably going to go to a beach and fly. Am I right?
Yes. We go to Dolman Beach over on Hutchinson Island. It's right on the ocean beach itself, and there's it's a great little flying destination, and it's great for FPV too, right, Johnny?
Yeah, it's really nice. I know Joe Fodolio, is talking about maybe going Friday, sometime after lunch and fly a little bit there. But yes, as Sunday, real informal. Everybody eats breakfast and kind of mingles around the hotel, and then we go out and fly. And it's real informal. Great place, great camera drone place, and a great FPV place. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds.
You got the high-rise condos over there, and it is a beautiful beach, really. It is. Yeah. So bring your bikinis, guys, or your Speedos.
Oh my! You won't. As Valerie would say, you'll only look once, okay? And then you may not be able to look again because you'll be blinded the rest of your life. So, But I understand also that there was a fishing trip that was scheduled for Monday, but that's been canceled, right?
Yes. Bill had his surgery. He's the one who makes the arrangements with the boat for that. He wasn't going to be able to go on the boat, and I can't get around as good as I used to. Also, Bill, I can't stand very long, and I just can't do it. But if people wanted to go, they can book the the boat themselves. It's the Lady
Right.
Stewart, ladystewart.com, and it's a great boat. It really is. And the captain lets you fly drones from the boat. Really?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
But they're talking about going to a gun range instead. I know Bill's going to go, and Lon Denard and Billy Kyle are going to go to a gun range and shoot some weapons. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for the update on this. You know, and I'll put in another shameless plug. Okay, that's one thing. This, and then you know, Bob Dempsey's meetup over in Vegas. I'll have you guys on all day long and twice on Sunday to talk about these things, because this is just such a good thing for the drone community. It's just so much fun. And you know, the best part about it is, and I've told people this, is not going there to fly, but going there to socialize.
Exactly.
Because that's what this is really all about. You know, I know a lot of guys are like, oh, I'm going to bring my Mavic 3 Pro, or I'm going to bring my Air 3S. Good. You know, absolutely bring them. But, you know, the big thing is to be able to interact and spend time with other people who you may only get to see once a year and meet up.
True.
Yeah. And look, hey, Ray, you remember this picture?
Yeah, I remember that one.
There you go.
Bailey came with you.
Yeah, can you believe 5 years ago? I mean, I just can't hardly believe it, you know.
Wow.
That was great.
And that first one, you know, the wind was very strong, and of course that guy, you know, Mark Fisher and that guy that crashed the drone, you know, I think they had that all planned, but no, it's you know, that was an incredible event. And that's you know, I met so many people, and of course from that year on it's grown to what we have today, which, like you said, Ray, we'll probably end up in the 150 to 160 mark easily, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And just to let you know also, Al Cercione, you know, he's a member of the drone meetup committee, but he reached out to his local police department, the Margate Police Department, and asked the chief if the chief would send their drone unit, and the chief said he would. He's going to send down the drone unit to maybe show off what they do. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be good,
to say the least. I'm a little biased to the police, you know.
And Ray, what about Nick? The guy Nick is going to do his FPV.
Yes, and we have Nick scheduled to do the waterproof drone demonstration
that
again.
Was real interesting, yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
And Bill, I got to say, I'm so glad you and Val are coming back. Really.
Well, you know? I got to say this, Ray. She constantly asks me about it. It's like, well, when is it? Are you know, is it April yet? Can we go? And you know, it's like, this is one of the things that she looks forward to almost as much as I do, because she had such a good time last year. I mean, it was like, you know, well, you know, for example, we got to meet John Flynn and his wife last year and spent some time talking with them, and just, you know, and I hate to just call John out for that, but you know, it was so nice on a one-on-one to connect with them, talk to them, get to know them, you know, find out some things, you know. And I told him, for example, where he lives up in Michigan, my cousin lives up there in the same town.
Small world.
It's a small world, exactly. So
we have quite a few females coming with their spouses, and quite a few of them are drone pilots also, like John Gregory. He's coming with his wife Holly, and she flies drones.
Wow.
And, you know, Bob Dempsey's coming with his wife Audrey, and she flies drones.
Wow. Wow.
And
that's
Paul Brown is coming with his wife, and she flies drones along with his 2 kids. Paul Brown has his whole family involved in flying drones, and we're so glad
Valery's not quite there
this
yet.
Year.
I'm working on Valerie. She's not quite there yet. I'm gonna get her there one of these days. So, but we're working on that.
Hey,
you know, Johnny don't like blowing his own horn, but Johnny has made it. Him and his son-in-law Matt built a custom Mario 5 FPV drone.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one of the top prizes that we're going to be giving away.
Wow.
So thank you, Johnny. Thank you for that. You know.
Hey, Bill, what we'll do is get Val, we'll just put a drone up and then say, hold this, you know, the controller. And then we'll just walk away and she'll just have to hold it, you know.
Yeah, I hope she's not, you know, let's hope she's not watching right now, because it sounds like a good game plan. I think that's that's going to be the way to do it.
You talk about that. That's exactly what John did with Kali.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got video of her flying, holding the controller.
Absolutely.
Hey, just hold this. Don't touch anything. Just hold it.
Don't touch anything. Just hold it. Here you go. Okay. What am I doing? Well, you're flying a drone right now. Okay.
Yeah.
What you're doing. So,
and then Bill, we're going to do the most drones flying at the same time in the air event again, and hopefully we'll break our record from last year of 28 drones. So with no casualties.
Yeah,
no casualties. There's the real kicker. No casualties. You want to definitely want to do that. And and no Ron flying a Autel Mini from Marcus this year again. we won't be repeating that this year. So but anyway,
it's all about having a good time, socializing, camaraderie,
Exactly. Got a few articles that we're going to go through, and then of course the main topic is again about Mavic 4 Pro, and the Pocket 3 just got even better with some exciting new features. They had a firmware update for it, and it looked to be really good here. I know Ron had talked about it last night too. They also updated the Mimo app as well, which was a great app. So and I'll let you guys read this at your leisure. It said the feature allows users to achieve a 2x magnified mid-telephoto view equivalent to a 40mm focal length, all while maintaining pristine 4K ultra high definition resolution. Unlike traditional digital zoom, which can degrade image quality, Med Tele mode significantly enhances image resolution, preserving intricate texture details. Okay. So it's fantastic. For me, one of the things, I recently sold my Pocket 3 because I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, I use my Action 4 or 5 a whole lot more than my Pocket 3. So that's why I ended up going ahead and selling it. I couldn't find a use case for it. Okay. For my Action cam, the Action 4 or 5, I can find a use case for it. I just couldn't find a use case for my Pocket 3. So I went ahead and sold it. So, but no, this is a great update. And if you guys have it, make sure you go ahead and do that. And then update the Mimo app as well, too, because that got updated with this during this time frame. So, I mean, that is a great update. Now, one of the other things that just came out, they came out with the Osmo Mobile 7. They also came out with an RS4 Mini. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about with that, and there was a great article on Drone DJ today, is that you can add ActiveTrack to any camera or smartphone when using the RS4 Mini. And this article talks about that, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Have the option to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Now the RS4 Mini is $300. It's not cheap. It's $369. And it's a price increase over the RS3 Mini, which was $279. The intelligent tracking module can be purchased separately for $69, but is only supported on the RS4 series of gimbals. So, we kind of that's where we kind of go with that. Now, unfortunately, Cape Canaveral got in the news, but not for a good thing here. There was a 71-year-old Canadian tourist who was charged for flying over the Florida military base, and it happened to be Cape Canaveral. I mean, my gosh. Yeah. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for Middle District of Florida, he's accused of using his drone to snap aerial photos of restricted areas within the base on 3 separate occasions in January 2025. His targets: space launch complexes, a payload processing facility, a submarine wharf, and even munitions bunkers. Federal law strictly prohibits unauthorized photography of such vital defense installations. Okay. Enthusiastic drone photographer, videographer began exploring the skies in 2019. His Instagram account showcases a variety of scenic views and cityscapes from Canada, with his latest post from December 2024 featuring Orlando, Florida. Okay. Cases attracted attention of multiple U.S. security and intelligence agencies, including Homeland Security, Air Force Office of Special Investigations, the FBI. Investigation is ongoing, and Assistant U.S. Attorney is leading the prosecution. Okay. Comes on the heels of another case involving a Chinese national arrested for allegedly flying a drone over Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Okay, I mean, and I'll tell you what, they're serious about this. They're not. They don't let these. They don't brush these off. And if you're gonna get caught flying a drone where you shouldn't be, this is one of the places you should never get caught. You shouldn't be up there in the first place, right? And
I'm just wondering if he checked air control or an app like that, and he just disregarded the no-fly zone because it is clearly posted that you're not allowed to fly over there.
Same thing, Ray. It would come up, it would pop up without warning. It would be automatic. Okay. That's a note, it's come up there with that. And then you'd have to get LANC approval, use one of the apps to do that in order. And then they probably would have denied it because it was a military installation. And, I can tell you from when I originally studied for my Part 107, one of the questions was, flying over a military installation. And, obviously, the answer was no. And no time is it right to fly over a military installation. You can't do that, okay? Because they have every right in the world to shoot your aircraft down, okay? And they will, all right? And I'm quite surprised his didn't get shot down, to be honest with you, because they watch that stuff like a hawk.
Well, it's something because, I had Greg Reverde from Pilot Institute on my live stream last week, and he was talking, and he put out a video about a moving TFR around naval ships. And I found that so interesting. Obviously, you're not allowed to do that. When they're out in the ocean, you got to stay 3,000 feet away from them, 1,000 feet above them. Not that drones can go 1,000 feet anyway, but it was a great video. And
Greg is very knowledgeable, and it's always good to see him on shows like yours, Ray. And that's a wealth of knowledge. And I think people need to take that to heart and understand, obviously, but
and he's also a sponsor of the South Florida Drone Meetup,
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that.
I received the lanyards from Pilot Institute.
Awesome.
So we'll be giving them to the first 150 people that show up.
Awesome.
Brad is going to make an announcement tomorrow on the ID holders. So on the Fly for Fun show. So Thank you to Brad. Thank you to Greg.
Absolutely fantastic, and that's what we like to see. But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bill.
No. I mean, guys. I mean, we found out what happened to our good friend Mikey. Okay, and when you don't mess with the government here, and this is another instance here where you just don't do it, and this gentleman, they're gonna take him to task for this, because who knows? You don't know. He could be spying for China. He could be spying for somebody else. Who knows? A foreign power, and that's not kosher, and it's not going to go over well. And he'll have apt punishment for it, for sure,
as he should.
Absolutely here. Okay. One of the other things that I wanted to cover here before we hit the Mavic 4 Pro is there was another firmware update, okay? And this was for the Action 5 Pro, and it added some features to that as well. A vivid tone setting in video mode, making your footage pop with rich contrast and deep layers of detail. The neutral setting is still there, but vivid mode is perfect for capturing those breathtaking landscapes or high-energy sports shots when you can use it. Resolutions 1080p, 2.7K, 2.7, and 4K. Frame rate up to 60. Works with normal color mode, okay? Has faster file transfers with MTA standard. That's new. Improved underwater video performance. That's new. Bug fixes and optimizations. That's new. But this is all coming on the heels because there was an announcement, and they had leaked it out. I don't know if it was Jasper or Igor. I think it may have been Igor, that they're working on an Osmo Mobile 360 or an Osmo 360. They're also working on an Action 6 as well right now too. So, and I mean, it seemed like the 5 has just been out not that long.
You're not lying. That's quick. That would be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a quick jump on that. That's a really quick jump. So, you know, if you can get one for a good deal, I know last week they had it on sale, like the standard version of the Osmo Action 5 on Amazon. The adventure combo, I think, was not on sale. That's the one that comes with a battery charger and the case and all that. But this one, you know, the standard combo was on sale last week. So you may want to look at that. One of the other things I wanted to talk about, and I don't have a slide port, but I know last night we talked about a little bit on Drone Nation about people getting an account out on Amazon in Canada. Okay. And Marcus talked about that last night. Yeah. Well, I went out there and I was able to do it. And it was a little more dicey than I thought it was going to be, but I successfully created it. But what was real interesting, when I put like in a DJI Air 3S, it came up as unavailable. All the drones that I put up there came as unavailable. Now, what I did after I did this after the show, and I've been using chat.
Unavailable for Americans.
Okay. And what I did was I went on to Chat GPT and I asked about that. And here they have, and I listed them down here. There are 3 services that you can get where you can have it shipped to an address in Canada, and then they ship it to you here in the United States. Okay. My US is one of them. Shipit2.com, all one word, and then Stackery, STACKRY. All 3 of those places have a Canadian address, so it would go there. And then I also found out that all 3 of these places actually help you fill out the customs form, because you got to fill out it's imported in the United States, so you got to fill out that customs form. It's a way around it. But there's also another thing with all of this too. You're going to pay more for it. Okay. It's going to cost more than here in the United States, because the value of the Canadian dollar versus the American dollar. I mean, that's just, and you know, their prices are higher to begin with up in Canada. So, I mean, if that's a route you want to go, it is available. It is an option, but it's going to cost you more money. So, because I know I got an email the other day from someone who this was a first. I was expecting to hear, you know, I saw, you know, my drone stuck in customs. I go, oh, okay. He said, no, it was a Mini 4 Pro. He had tried to order a Mini 4 Pro from he went out to Adorama, showed that, you know, they don't have them in stock. Best Buy only had refurbished. And then he went out to Amazon, and now Amazon had it with all those extra, like 2 landing pads and 2 cases, and
so they can jack the price up.
Yeah, 20 sets of propellers and just stupid stuff. Okay, so he said he just wanted to get the drone and a controller. Okay, so, you know, and I asked him, I said, so what happened? He says it was stuck in customs. I said, really? He said, yeah. He says it was stuck in customs. And I'm like, a Mini 4 Pro. I'm like, I'm just kind of like still scratching my head over that one. I mean, I didn't see that coming. I mean, really, to be honest with you. But he said that's what happened.
Al Sercione, you know, had that problem, and he had to use a new drop shipper. You know, he ended up having the drone sent to Johnnie Drone Flyer.
He did, yeah. Well, Bill, you know, let me tell you something we found out today, and this is kind of what you're talking about. You know, of course, we're donating a drone. Matt, my son-in-law, built him. We're donating. But anyway, so we were talking about drones and coffee the other morning, and one of the shows that Joe Photo Leo. I have a little fly fish Valador 3.5-inch frame. I said, hey, you know what? We'll build it out in the field out at the South Florida Drone Meetup. Let people see how it's built. So anyway, make a long story short, I put the frame together today, and I had the 04 unit, which is 109. Now it's small. So anyway, I called Joe and was showing him. He said, man, that thing is tiny. So maybe let's try the 04 Pro, which I do have one. But what I'm getting to, so I said, well, you know what, Joe, we might just put an 03 in it. It fits good. It works well. So guess what? You cannot get an 03 right now, only because DJI is out of stock. Amazon was the 03 Air units right before the 04 units came out went from $229 to $179. You could buy them everywhere. Now the 03 Air units are $10 more than the 04 Air units. So it's very interesting what's happening. And you know, we're talking about, I know we'll get to the Mavic 4. you know, I don't know if you'll be able to get the darn drone. So you cannot get an air unit. Now you can get it if you want to pay, you know, more than the 04 for the old 03 unit. So it's a lot of strange stuff happening right now.
Wow. Welcome, Marcus. Thanks for joining tonight.
Hey, Marcus.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. Yeah. Wow. I'm just telling him. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I went out and I created an Amazon account in Amazon Canada last night. Okay. And I went out for an Air 3S, and all the drones that I went to look at, unavailable. All right. Yeah. Now, what I just talked about, and I found out because I asked ChatGPT to kind of help me out here. There are places that you can ship these to in Canada that will ship them to you in the United States. MyUS, shipit2.com, and stackery.com. And they'll actually help you fill out customs paperwork to send it down to your address. But, you know, understand a few things here. You know, it's going to, they'll actually help you with the customs paperwork too, which is great. But, you know, it's going to, number one, the items cost more. And then as Richard just put down, evidently there's a 25% tariff that's going to start on Monday from Canada. So there's your option right there. And what was interesting was, and I just told Ray and Johnny, was I had somebody tell me, oh, you know, their drone is stuck in customs. And I'm like, oh, an Air 3S. No, a Mini 4 Pro was stuck in customs.
Oh, there's a ton. Yeah, any kind of drone doesn't seem like it makes it through customs now. Now, I've had no problem here in Idaho. I've got them immediately. It appears to be, as you guys know, a regional thing, but it's disturbing. Also, you could order direct from Drone Dynamics in Calgary, and they'll ship to the U.S. too. So they're a DJI store. So
well, that's good to know.
Yeah, and their prices are competitive. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and hit the main topic here, and the DJI Mavic 4 Pro is closer than you think, and we're going to look at some articles here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about why I made that statement here. So now the first thing that we're going to go over here was an article that was out on Drone XL from Hey Kesteloo, and it shows a new picture. Now this new picture, bring this up here. Okay. Now this new picture on it. Okay. And you take a look right here, and it shows there's a sensor right there. Now people are talking about discovery highlighted with a red circle in Ellen's post has sparked speculation about whether the sensor represents LiDAR technology similar to one on the Air 3S, or if it's a simpler infrared system. The sensor, however, serves a critical purpose, obstacle sensing and avoidance, with its unique placement designed to enhance the camera's gimbal freedom of movements, enabling 90-degree upward or downward aiming and popular vertical shooting for social media videos. Okay. The Mavic 4 Pro, now, Ellen's a veteran in DJI rumors, suggested in the past system could be LiDAR for precise distance measurement and obstacle avoidance is what we have on the Air 3S. Alternatively, it might be an IR system, as we've seen on the DJI Flip, which uses light to detect obstacles but lacks LiDAR's depth and accuracy. Okay. The sensor's offset placement of the propeller arm isn't a design flaw, but seemingly a deliberate choice to maximize the camera's gimbal range of motion. By positioning the obstacle avoidance sensor from the gimbal, DJI allows the camera to tilt 90 degrees upward or downward, catering to inspections of professional cinematography and the growing demand for vertical shooting modes popular in social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. This configuration ensures a drone can maintain robust obstacle detection while offering unparalleled flexibility for captured air footage. Okay. And talks about technical feasibility and industry implications here. I'll let you guys read that at your leisure here. Marketing context and competition, talks about Autel and Skydio. Drone XL's take. Jasper Ellen's discovery offers a tantalizing glimpse of the Mavic 4 Pro's potential. The sensor's true nature remains unclear without official confirmation from DJI. If it's LiDAR, the drone could revolutionize obstacle avoidance for the Mavic drones, especially with its innovative arm placement to enhance camera flexibility. However, power and cost constraints make an IR system perhaps more plausible. As the drone industry evolves, DJI's ability to balance cutting-edge technology with practicality will be crucial. Drone XL will continue tracking development and provide updates as more details emerge. Okay. You know, I'm kind of thinking, you know, this is just me. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be IR, because I would think for something like LiDAR, and if you look on the front of the, and let me grab it here real quick, because I have it handy here. Okay, is the Air 3S
a lot longer, right? Wider.
Right, it's a lot longer when you look at it, and it's not smaller and compact. And seeing the smaller and the compact one would lead you to believe that it's gonna be infrared instead of LiDAR. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Could it just be a running light?
I would think it's going to have it. I mean, if the Air 3S had it, I would think the Mavic 4 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it could be some type of light. It's kind of small. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. It is weird. I've seen that and was reading that. So who knows? You know,
that's what I was wondering. Could it just be a nav light?
Yeah, and that's a distinct possibility you guys brought up too. Because if you're really thinking about it, you know, if you look at it, and I'll bring the picture up again, it wouldn't be, if it was really an infrared sensor, there would be one on the other arm here. It wouldn't just be a single one by itself, I would think. Okay, because
I think that the angle that would be, it would be on one on the other arm. It's probably hard to tell from that picture.
Yeah, that's you're exactly right, Johnny. There could be one that's hidden by the propeller. We don't know. Or it may,
I still can't get over the shape of this new drone. You know, it's totally different.
And I think the whole thing for that, Ray, is I think they want that gimbal to have a lot of flexibility. They want to be able to do those 90-degree shots up and down, be able to really pan well right and left, and really kind of be on par with, you know, really more a, you know, if you want to call a professional type of drone, like an Inspire 3 type of a thing, where, you know, you have an incredible camera combination on there that really kind of rivals that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show here, and I found these. Now, I went out to, let's see if I can get that here. Yeah, here's a good picture. Yeah, there are some other people on X. If you look real carefully here, you can find some other pictures, and that's what I did today. I spent some time out on X, and this picture right here is from X Drone Studio. And you take a look now. On the right is the Air 3S, okay, or the Mavic 3 Pro, excuse me, and then on the left is the Mavic 4 Pro. If you take a look at the camera placement and camera arrangements on that, which I thought was very interesting, because I haven't really seen anybody kind of compare the two, and this one actually compared the two right here. So this kind of gives you a flavor for how things are and how things are going to be balanced on here. So, any thoughts on that?
Did they talk about the telephoto capabilities of those cameras and the zoom on them? I forget. I haven't seen anything.
No, they haven't really talked about that yet, Ray, and that's a really good question, because I think a lot of people want to see what type of zoom capabilities it will have, and whether or not it's going to be cropped. And I know Marcus and Ron have talked about that a lot, you know, because, you know, when you have a true zoom, and it's not just, you know, you don't want that image cropped, okay, because cropping that image is really going to degrade it. You want it to keep it as pure as possible, and you can only do so much. Now, I don't know if this camera is I don't know what its capabilities are as far as zoom is concerned.
Okay.
We'll kind of see how that ends up. But you know, the whole thing with that design that you talked about too, Ray, which is it's really noticeable. It's really something, you know, it's like, you know, some people will look at a car. Wow, that's a good looking car. And then some people look at a car like, really? Seriously? You know? And that's what people's reaction to the Mavic 4 Pros. You know, look at the Mavic 3 Pro and say, wow, that looks great. And then you're looking at that, and it's like, huh? Because it's a real departure from the style that DJI has used. And, you know, and some people were in one of the comments that was a few weeks ago, which I thought was really interesting. People were saying, you know, if it hits in a crash, it's really going to kind of destroy that gimbal. And I'm like, you know what? If you have the housing on here like you do, say on an Air 4, okay, you know what? If it crashes like this, it doesn't matter if you have this on the top over here or not. It's going to go, all right? And that's why you get DJI Care Refresh. I mean, that's the bottom line for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they talked about the ND filters being built in. It's kind of hard to tell from that how that would look, you know.
Yeah, that's another good point, Johnny. Having these ND filters, and that'll be really nice because that will lend itself. You know, you'll have the opportunity to be able to kind of change that on the fly. You know, and I know Marcus and Ron and I have talked about it. You know, it's like for me when I do ND filters, I do it here at my desk before I go out to fly. I don't do it out in the field, okay? Because that could pop. You know, it's like putting an SD card out in the field. That thing could pop out, go in the grass, you'll never find it. Okay, and the same thing with an ND filter. So that's why I like doing them here. This eliminates that. This really kind of takes the guesswork out of that. Now, one of the other things I did want to talk about, why I think it's coming sooner rather than later, was for those of you that watched Drone Nation last night. All right, somebody said you may want to come down to the South Florida drone meetup. Why? Well, somebody said might get us to see the Mavic 4 Pro in action, and
yeah,
I don't know if Lauren made a comment.
I'd almost put money on it, and I'm not even a betting man.
I'm not even a betting man either, too. But I know our good friend Lauren posted a comment on that last night on Drone Nation. So this. Let me
ask you guys this: if it's got a variable aperture, why would you necessarily need ND filters?
Well, you really wouldn't, or I mean, sometimes they would get in the way or your shot would change totally. I don't know. Interesting question, Marcus.
Yeah. I'm just curious. And then also I wonder if it does have built-in ND filters that are variable. When you're going into the sun, is it going to be at one rating, you know, say an ND 32, and then if you turn around going away from the sun, will it automatically reduce to an ND 16?
Right.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that's
it'll be interesting to find out. That's for sure.
Well, you know, one of the things that I kind of it was real interesting, and I think this kind of comes into play here with this talk. I know Ross from 51 Drones, he put out a good video. He asked, what's that artificial intelligence from X that Elon's involved with? Begins with a G. Is it Grok? I'm not sure.
Not familiar with them.
No,
something like that. Well, anyway, he used that to get a video out about the whole thing about the drone ban and everything. And he put out a good video about it. Well, one of the things that I did today was, and I have a video coming out later this week about it, is, you know, I kind of did the same thing on my own, asking some very pointed questions, and I got some real interesting answers. But, you know, one of the other reasons why I say you're going to see the Mavic 4 Pro sooner rather than later is all the talk is going on about the drone ban. And if no federal agency challenges it, then, you know, it's going to become law next year and everything. And I think DJI they have their foot's down to the floor. Okay. The gas pedal is down to the floor. They are going full tilt this year with just about everything that you can think of, especially if it involves any kind of wireless communication, because that involves and requires FCC approval. Okay. You don't normally, some of the things don't have that, but most of DJI's products do have that. So that's why they're doing that. And that's why I think we're going to see this in rapid order. Okay. And you're going to see it a whole lot sooner than you guys think you're going to see it. It's going to come out. And especially, you know, the one thing that I know Ron and Marcus and I have talked about is the controllers. Is I think we're going to see a new RC Pro type of controller with this. Okay. And it's going to, now, if you buy that bundle, it's going to put it up. You're going to be up in the upper atmosphere as far as price is concerned. All right. It's going to be pretty pricey, but I think a basic bundle, I think it's going to be more affordable. And one of the things that I can recommend if you're gonna make this investment is after you get it, get a Fly More package or whatever you do get, you're going to want to get batteries. You're going to want to get have a lot of batteries. And then one of the things I would encourage you to do afterwards as well too is wait till they come out. Now, DJI will put out a sequential charger, and it'll work well. But one of the things that I found with a couple of the parallel chargers that I've tested. Now, I've tested one for the Air 3S. I've also tested one for the Mini 4K and the Spectre Mini, and it works exceptional. I got a video coming out on that in short order, is to take a look at some of these and consider those because, for example, the one that I got for the Air 3S, it actually, you can choose, it has an option to choose 60%. So you can do it for long-term storage of these batteries. And if push is going to come to shove and we're going to have this and it's going to come to fruition, you're going to want to have a lot of batteries. And because, we know, 2025 has a limited amount of time in it. We're almost a third of the way through the year here. So we'll see how things are going to go with that. What are you guys' thoughts on all this? What do you think?
Well, with regard to price, price is no object for somebody like Johnny. Now, the rest of us are going to have to look pretty carefully at that. Like you say, it could be an expensive endeavor, but lacking Johnnie Drone Flyer money, a guy like Mike Wright said that, hey, you may not want to miss this one because it might be the last one you'll be able to get.
Well, a big thing is going to be the availability of it too. I
mean, if DJI made a statement about some points of entries, New Jersey and a couple other spots, I mean, would you be willing to? I don't know if I'd be willing to order a $3,000 drone, and I know you might get credit back and all that, but I mean, what would change the delivery on this drone than everything else? Right now, almost basically the drones are shut down. Drone delivery is shut down.
Well, in some locations, it's weird, isn't it? Because I've had no problem getting DJI products delivered here, and I don't. What's the difference, right? Who knows?
Yeah,
well, see, I do know, that one of the problems has been the port of entry of Miami, Florida, and you would think, and what's really funny for me is you would think that because obviously where I live here, all right, that would be my port of entry, but sometimes it isn't. Okay. Mine has come through, where my port of entry has been? Dayton or Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay.
Ohio. Okay.
Because DHL, because it comes DHL and they have a facility, they have a big processing facility up in Cincinnati. It's one of their hubs up there. And that's where I've gotten them from most of the time. Whenever I get a DJI drone, it'll come through Cincinnati for me. And it may be because, where we live in the state. That's a great question. I wish I had an answer for it. Okay.
But the big question is, what do you think the price point's going to be? Anybody have any guesses?
Well, go ahead, Marcus. I know.
Well, I just was going to say the same thing you said earlier. I think if you get a smart controller and you get a Fly More kit, you're probably going to be over $3,000, which definitely. I'll be honest with you, it'd be worth it to me. Let me back up a little bit. I bought the Mavic 3 without the smart controller. And once I saw, or the Pro controller, excuse me, I misspoke. When Ron showed me his Pro controller, I knew it was a mistake. So if you get it, and get the best controller you can get, because it does make a big difference. And that for sure is going to put it up at a pretty high priced product. No question.
Yeah. I think like Marcus said, I think if you get it with all the bells and whistles, and then they're going to have a new RC Pro 2 type controller with it. Yeah. You're going to be north of $3,000 on that. But I think if you're going to get maybe the drone, a battery, and a controller, if it comes with an option like that, you'll be well under $2,000. Okay.
But we all know it's best to get the Fly More combo if it's offered. Really,
exactly.
Batteries and
you get the batteries, you get a sequential charger with it, more propellers. Yep. Exactly. You'll get a decent case if you want to use it. Yeah. So absolutely, that's kind of the way to go to that. But I think there is some urgency to this, and this is why I said why it's closer than you think, because I think DJI has a really strict timetable. I think they're pushing the quality assurance testing, because normally they follow a sequence, because one of the things that I've learned with DJI is, especially with releases, is, they're all over the map. But I think this year, I think they're very targeted. I think they're going to stick to a schedule here, because on, was it Thursday, they're going to release a docking station. Okay. Because you probably saw the announcement about that today. That's a docking station. Now they also put out, and I want to share this too here. I did see this as well today too on, out on X. Let me see if I can get that here. Okay. Yeah. Just a confirmation of my thoughts. DJI M4TD. And Igor was saying Mavic 4 thermal, okay, with this. So there's a possibility of that hitting in here too. So it's like, who knows at this point.
Hey, Bill, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this whole customs thing blows up and nobody can get one delivered to them. And DJI ban not in effect, just this whole customs blockade or whatever you want to call it. So at that point, I make a trip to Calgary to visit my friend Lauren. And while I'm at it, I walk into Drone Dynamics and buy a Mavic 4 and take it home with me. Now, of course, I would declare it as I was crossing the border back into the United States. Would they then... would they have to hold the drone to get customs clearance, or would I just pay the value added tax, whatever the new tariff, call it? I'm just wondering, what would that process be?
I think you would be paying the VAT or the value added tax. I think you would do that, and then maybe if there's a tariff on it, but if the tariff is charged, it would be charged probably at the store. It probably wouldn't be charged.
Well, if you bought it in Canada, why would they? So what I'm saying is, would you have to pay it when you cross the border? And this whole customs thing, would they make you go, oh, okay, because of all the reasons that it's being blockaded everywhere else, would they confiscate the drone and just say, hey, we don't know if you'll ever get it back?
It's not being.
You could always say it was a gift from Lauren, Marcus.
You could call it a gift. I thought of that. No, that's legit. No, I think that's a legit any strategy, right? And I'm not talking about being dishonest. I'm just saying, we're just trying to get a hold of our drones. I don't know, Captain Ray. That's a good thought. I don't know.
Right.
I would, because Marcus really kind of prompted me last night during the show. And it was a good thought. And I went out there, I created an Amazon Canada account. And then I went and I tried, like I said, it showed unavailable. But I also looked up through Chat GPT last night, and it told me of those shipping services that have addresses in Canada that will deliver there to Canada. And then they will go ahead, help you fill out customs paperwork and get it shipped down to the United States. And all three of these are reliable.
And maybe Drone Dynamics would do that, right? Maybe then when you cross the border, they'd say, okay, here's the paperwork you got to give them. That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing, Bill, before we lose it here, somebody mentioned here paying in cash. Yeah, Mark White. Okay, so that's the other thing. Don't forget that every time you use a credit card, you're leaving a trail. And don't think that customs doesn't know. When you think you're going to hide that thing in your trunk of your car or whatever, trust me, they already know that you purchased it before you cross the border because you used your credit card to buy it. And so he's saying use cash. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's a good point, Marcus.
Yeah.
Or here's another one you could use, and I haven't used them in years, but American Express traveler's checks, because they're just like cash.
I didn't even think of that. Remember when you were traveling someplace, you'd go get a bunch of traveler's checks?
Oh, yeah.
I would just Venmo. Just
do that all the time.
Yeah, send it through PayPal. Venmo.
You see Brian Waypoint's comment?
Yeah. Well, that's I suppose I could go down to Mexico and try and buy one too. Yeah.
Well, Paul Murray drove up to Canada to get, I think, the Flip. He actually bought a couple of them. So I don't know if because he's right there close. So I don't know what he had to do.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, here's a real kicker. Okay, let's say you do that and you get it, and there's a problem with it. All right, you call DJI up, and what do you have?
Well, you would register it like normal.
You would register it.
Right,
I don't think when you activate it's got nothing to do with where you bought it at. I don't think it does.
I hope not. Just like,
I mean, it's shipped from China, so
I think that where that would be a problem, Bill, is if it was a product that was sold in whatever the foreign country is you purchased it in, but not the United States. I think if it was a product that was already sold here, I don't think it'd be an issue.
Right. That's a good point. That's a real good point here. So I mean,
well, I was in touch with Vic Moss, and he still recommended that we contact our representatives in Congress about these custom issues, and I did it. I did it again. So I haven't received a response yet, other than they received them, my emails. But so I would recommend that too. Everybody, reach out to your representative, send them a quick email, or go to the.
I'll answer Richard's question here. Would it be FCC approved? Yes, it would, Richard, because my Air 3S replacements that I got from DJI, they came from Canada. So, and they were sent to me here in the United States.
Hey, while we're on the subject of regulations, can I go off topic for just a second, Bill?
You sure can.
Because I just don't want anybody to forget it. Tomorrow, I don't know if you guys are subscribed to the FAA fast safety team.
Safety thing, yeah.
Yeah.
8 p.m., right?
Yeah. It would be 7 p.m. Central Time, so 8 p.m. your time. That'll make it 6 p.m. my time. They're having a seminar, a webinar, and I think and the whole thing is talking about regulations, your rights, and your responsibilities. I'm not going to miss it. I can tell you that. I signed up
for it already.
Yeah. So don't forget it. If you haven't signed up already, you should do it.
Yeah, if you guys can if they have access to it, drop a link in the chat for that for everybody. That would be really good, because I don't have it handy. But if somebody does have that, please drop it in the chat here. I think that would be something very worthwhile in attending. I would absolutely encourage you guys to go ahead and do that too. And like Ray said, go ahead and contact your congressman and your United States senators as well. I know right now, technically, we only have one in the state of Florida, because they're still waiting to. I think the other one's gotten sworn in. So I think we do have 2 U.S. senators again too. But go ahead and contact them. And then also too, one of the things, and I know Vic had talked about it, just don't send them an email, call them up as well, and try to talk to a live person, not an answering machine or a voicemail. It goes along better, because one of the things that I do know, and I think Vic mentioned this, they log these, okay, and they log the number of responses that they get, and that's important in terms of getting the message out to that congressman or the United States senator, the congressperson or senator. So definitely go ahead and do that. Contact them about that. So it's a pressing issue for us right now. Okay, this is like, okay, why the big deal about this? We did hear something about it was because they assumed DJI was using the Uyghurs in forced labor, but they've shown that the Uyghurs aren't where they make them. And DJI has 2 production facilities. One's in Malaysia and one's in Shenzhen, and they don't have Uyghurs there. So what's the deal? What's the holdup with this? And be honest with your congressman. But the one thing that I think, and I think Vic has emphasized this time and time again, when you're talking with that person, okay, be polite with them. Don't go off the rails with them. Be
try to keep it professional.
Be exactly right. Be professional with them. Be the way that you would expect to want to be talked to. Okay. Because I'll tell you what, every time when I've gone out and I've had issues and I've talked professionally, 99.9% of the time, I get a favorable response, because I'm being polite, professional and courteous to them, and they in return will do the same for me. So that would be a way to approach that. But I think this is something we do need, and this is a good point, guys. We do need to raise this up with our elected representatives, because we're paying for these drones. The company has done nothing wrong, DJI. So why are these being held up in customs? What's the deal with this? So
they're banning the drones before they're banned. The customs. Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
That's what it's coming up to. So any closing thoughts here, guys, before we wrap things up?
No, Bill.
Well, it's exciting. A new drone coming out is always exciting. Whether or not I'm buying it myself, I still get excited when there's a new DJI drone that is released. And I enjoy the people that do buy them and do share their knowledge about these drones, because I learn. But I might be buying this one. I might be buying.
I'm gonna buy Marcus's old Mavic 3. That old.
I'd make you a heck of a deal on it, Johnny. I'm not. Me. I'm not joking.
No, it is exciting to get a new drone, but just the uncertainty. When will you get it? And I mean, all you can do is order it. From I think it's best to order from DJI myself, but everybody's got different theories on that. But whether it gets held up, some of them. Al didn't have any trouble getting his Air 3S to me, but he had trouble getting it in Florida. So you really don't know,
And then he had trouble getting his Neo.
Yeah.
Let's hope what Dronioki just posted here. Grok says DJI is looking for a manufacturing facility in the U.S.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be wonderful.
That would be good.
Yes, it would be.
So with regard to that same subject, if you'd asked me a few months back, I'd have said, well, and we've talked about this. I don't know if I want to spend that much money on a drone, et cetera, et cetera. But Mike Wright really made me think twice about that, because he made the point that it may be the last prosumer drone that we're able to get a hold of in the U.S. from DJI. So for that reason alone, probably no matter how big of a leap in technology it is, and the thing is, I suspect it will be a big leap in technology. But for that reason alone, I'll probably buy it. So, and just like we also discussed, if you're going to do it, go all in. You're going to want to get the Pro controller, and as you've said, plenty of batteries so that you're good to go there, and you keep those batteries healthy, and so that if need be, it could be a drone you could fly for the next 5 or 6 years, and
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I agree 100% with Marcus, and that was a great thing that he brought up, because I remember Marcus had mentioned that before, was that he talked to Mike Wright about that, and he made that was a good point.
Hey, well, don't let Marcus hear this, but Marcus is not listening, I hope. But hey, it'll make your drones you have now a little more valuable too, So hey, you pick up, Air 2S is still a great drone you can get.
It is.
Still great drones out there. Air 3. Air 3S. So there's still some great drones that you can get.
Absolutely. And I know, I'm pretty sure there's Air 2S refurbs that are still out there. So you can get from DJI, and that's my son-in-law flies it, and he absolutely loves it.
I'm dying to do that. I'm dying to buy a refurb drone. I've never done it, but I am dying to do it.
So my Air 2S was a refurb.
My first DJI drone was a refurb. The Phantom 3 standard. I have to think about that.
Yeah, and Joe's Mavic 3 was a refurb, and we opened it up out there. I mean, when he brought it, it's still.
You really save a lot of money doing it that way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Johnny and Ray for stopping by tonight and helping out with Marcus as well.
Thanks for the invite, Bill.
Absolutely.
We wish safe travels to Ron and Susan on their way down to Florida. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves and have a relaxing trip on the train, and get to Jupiter refreshed and rested and ready to enjoy some enjoyable Florida weather. And we're looking forward to that South Florida drone meetup. Captain Ray started the gears rolling tonight on the right track with all that. And guys, make plans, get down there, do what you can. If you're able to, and you've got the ability, get down here and enjoy it. It's just a wonderful time with your drone brothers and sisters down here in South Florida. We just have a good time. We're here to have fun. We're here to have a good time and just be able to socialize. And that's the best part about the South Florida drone. So,
and I do have to say this: we got quite a few new people coming. We really do.
Great.
You know, and we'll be meeting them, and quite a few more females are coming this year, and children. So it's going to be a great event, really.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Everybody, so Johnny, watch your language while we're there.
Me? Wait, is Barkley coming? How is Barkley coming?
Yeah, he's on the list. He's on the list. Yeah. Number 107. Number 107. And
oh, yeah, that's 108. Right. That's right. No, it's going to be a great time, guys. If you ever thought about attending, hey, it's a year to come. I'll tell you that.
We're going to have a lot of fun, and make sure if you can get there Friday night for the meet and greet as well. That is just a blast as well too. So make sure you guys get that. Bring your cameras, take lots of pictures, be silly, have a great time. Guys, have a great rest of your week. As always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.